So Dontae, you've got a group that has a lot of turnover, to say the least. So your thoughts on the development, the youth, what can you get out of it?
I'm extremely excited about the group. Obviously, there's very, very, very little experience. You know, Aubrey Burks has played a little bit. Obviously, Marcus Floyd has played a bunch, but not at this level. Davis Mallinger's played very, very sparingly just on special teams last year. And those are the guys that are with our first group. They're not starters, I'm not saying that, but they're with our first group right now. But I'm really excited about them because they're long, they're athletic, they can run, and they're eager to learn. The meeting rooms are unbelievable because they got great questions because they've never seen most of the stuff that they're seeing before. So I'm excited about it. They got a bunch of talent. Now it's my job to rein them in and get them where they're supposed to go. But when they're where they're supposed to be and know what they're supposed to do, they're a pretty salty group to mess with. And I feel confident in them being able to run with anybody that we have to face, be able to be physical and tackle in open space and do all those good things. It's a really exciting group, really exciting group.
Marcus is a guy who I think played mainly corner in the past, so his transition to safety, how's that been?
It's been really surprisingly smooth. You know, he gets himself in trouble a little bit of times when, you know, when we're playing cover two and he's going back into his corner world to where the corner world plays laterally and in a third for a corner, whereas a safety has to play square and over top of everything. He gets a little bit of trouble with that, which merges from what he's used to, but his transition has been really, really smooth. He's very, very intelligent. I got to get him to be a little bit louder and control some things a little bit better, but that's just where he's used to playing corner, and he's used to somebody telling him what to do. And now he's that guy that has to tell everybody what to do, but it's been a shockingly smooth transition.
Biggest concern for a coach that's playing young safeties?
Make a mistake, and they're what's the word I'm looking for? When they make a mistake, their confidence. Yeah, they lose a little bit of confidence. You know, you go into. You don't have to worry about it in practice because practice is practice. But if you go to Pitt and your worry is you get out there and you got a Blitnikoff winner out there and he lines up in the slot and maybe he runs by him. Well, that could, if they aren't the right type of people, that could lose some confidence, and now it has that snowball effect. So that to me is my biggest worry. And then the next biggest, I guess it would be, is how fast will the game be for him? You know, Marcus, I worry about Marcus because he's not played at this level, obviously. You worry about Davis and Aubrey because they never have at all on defense, really. And then the guys behind them, Caleb Coleman and Hershey McLaurin, obviously have not played any either. And that's the worry. How fast will the game be for them? Can they slow it down enough to where they can use their abilities and be able to help us?
I guess those get to the back pedal a lot faster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you'll see. If it happens, that's what you'll see is they'll backpedal the heck out of there, and then they'll just start banging in hitches on them and curls. But I'm excited about this group because they are confident in themselves, and they believe in themselves and they believe in each other. And I say those are the biggest worries, but I'm really not worried about it. I'm not. They're going to get tons of reps, and going against Sam and Bryce and all those guys that we got over on the offense, that's a pretty good barometer of where they're at, and they get to do it every single day, so they should be fine.
A guy like Mallinger, I just sense, I get the feeling from what I've seen and what people talking, this guy's got a high ceiling. You're smiling, what do you see from a kid like him, and where can he go?
A high ceiling. Where can he go? I do not know that answer. I really, truly do not. I'm not taking a cop-out. Right. He can go a lot of places. He can go really, really far if he buys into it and if he truly develops into a defense player, because we got to remember now, the kid didn't play defense. Right. He's just now learning how to play defense, and he started off all last year playing cat safety. Well, now he's trying to learn how to play spear, and he's starting to come in, and spear is easier for him because now, once again, he's being told what to do all the time, and he gets to be more of a see-ball, get-ball kind of guy. But he's also a guy that can line up on a slot guy like Sam James, who's one of the faster guys in our league, and run toe-to-toe with him because he's coming out of high school, he's a 10'6", 10'7" hunter guy. So he's not going to get run by anybody, and he's physical, and he's not scared of contact. And now you got to teach him how to play defense. And if you would put on practice 1 to practice 14, which we just finished, you'd not see even close to the same player. Now, does he still make mistakes? Yeah, all of them do, and everybody's going to make mistakes. But he's made tremendous strides, and he's got an unbelievable ceiling. He really, really does.
The way this defense is constructed, you almost, with that spear, it's almost like a hybrid deal. So you got to have a really good athlete in that position. That's what you're targeting, right?
Very much so. It's a hybrid corner safety. It really, I mean, he's got to be able to get in the box and be in a run fit being that overhanging between two and the end man and line of scrimmage. But he also has to line up and play cover one against a slot receiver, which in my world, that's the hardest person to defend because those guys out on the island, those splits tell you what you're going to get. The corners, if he's got a tight split, well, I can really shut off one side of the field because I know he's got to run out there. Well, when you're in the slot, he got both sides of this field now he can outplay with. So he's got to be a really, really good athlete, and he's got to be a lot of different things. At times he's going to have to be back in the post. That's just the way our defense works. He's got to be able to do everything, and it's a really fun position to play when you learn it.
Well, tough ask for a young guy.
Very much so. But, again, hungry young guys that right now have already messaged me in my group chat saying, hey, Coach, can we get in after dinner tonight to come in and watch his practice before meetings tomorrow? So they're very, very hungry, and I'm excited about them.
Dontae, there's like a coaching debate about would you rather have talent or experience, right? I'm not sure where you stand. That's not my question, but you've had experience, and now you're coaching talent. Is it different at this stage of the season where the building blocks are one instead of the other, but you still have the ultimate coaching goals where you want to be?
Yeah, see, I go back and forth on the talent or experience. Experience, when they're experienced and they're really smart, well, their talent is actually better than what they really are because they're allowed to get where their smart comes into play. It gets them ahead of things. They see things before the offense is even doing it. Talent is just flat out, okay, well, I'm just reacting to everything instead of seeing it ahead of time. That's where the experience has the overlap for them. So I don't have do I like talent or do I like experience? I like guys that want to be great, and I like guys that have the ability to go out there and do what I ask them to do. We had experience last year. They could go out there and ask them what we ask them to do. We got talent this year, and they can do everything that we ask them to do. Last year, we weren't going to ask Sean Mahone, Alonzo Adai, and Scotty Young or Jackie Matthews to line up and play man coverage all the time. That wasn't their strong suit. So we played zone stuff and quarters, and that was what they were good at. These guys now, we're still figuring out what they're good at, but they have the talent to play man. They have the talent to play zone. Now it's my job to coach them and get them to where they're supposed to be and at the level that they're supposed to play at. If that answers your question, Adam.
How much you get to work with St. McLeod? Just obviously not on the field. But
right now?
Yeah.
No, he's back home right now. Okay. He's back home getting healthy and handling some things, and he'll be back with us at some point.
Okay. So obviously not.
I talk to him, but not work with him. No. We talk every other day.
I know you don't coach the corners, but they have to sync with the safeties. How has that been?
It's been really good, man. It really. I mean, when you have youth and inexperience, you have your ups and downs. But it really has been good. The best part about it for me is they're going to make mistakes, but they know exactly what they did wrong. And they're willing to take the coaching and not get in their feelings and become emotional and play with high and low energy. They take the coaching and they go out and they correct it. But it really, really has been good. The Moo-Moos and the Wilson Lamps and all of those guys, they again, I was talking about the safeties earlier, but they're hungry. Like they're coming and picking my brain. They come in and pick Coach Shadon's brain. They're talking to each other and they communicate. I think that's the one thing about this group of DBs is that they're really, really close. Even though they're young and even though they haven't been around each other a ton of time, for some odd reason, they really, really gel well together. And they communicate well together, and it's not about egos and who makes this play and who. No, I'm doing my job, and that's all that matters. If a play comes to me, it comes to me, and we work together in sync. And it really has been very encouraging how well they've worked together.
You mentioned Joe, and you mentioned that, and Jordan mentioned that too. You've been in locker rooms, you played, you coached, you've been to different places. How valuable is that? Because it seems like if in your deal, these guys are all together, you get one or two bad guys that complain and bitch, and then that just kind of blows up everything.
My opinion, once again, it is the most important thing in all of sports. Gelling. Is gelling. That locker room and the chemistry that you have in that locker room, if it is good, you have a chance to be special. If it is average or poor, you got a chance to do nothing at all. And that's, once again, that's just my opinion. And like I talk to my guys, like, it's not about you all. It's not about you all. It's not about an individual. This is about a team and buying into each other, because when the team wins, everybody wins. And if you want to get to the league, well, you know what? It's easier to get to the league off a 10-win team. It's really hard to get to a league off a 5-win team. Now, can you still do it? You daggone can. But people come around more. There's more eyes on you when your team is really good. So if you make it about us, now we all have a chance. If you make it about you, good luck to you. And again, I'm going to say that is the most important thing, in my opinion, is that team chemistry and what they do in that locker room. And that's what I'm excited about the most. And I hope you can hear it in my voice, is these guys are growing together. They hang out with each other outside of the – now, did we hang out outside of the locker room the last 2 years? Yeah, but it wasn't in a pack of 30 or 40 of them. You know, it was a 5 or 6 person clique. And when you get cliques, you get separation. But now we're starting to grow together, and they enjoy being around each other. Am I saying we're going to have a special season? I can't say that. I can't say that at all. But I can say that locker room is growing to a point where we're going to give ourselves a chance.
You mentioned some of the guys that are running first group, second group, and you sort of touched on it. Caleb,
Yep.
Hershey, some of those
Naeem
guys.
Muhammad.
Yeah. What are your thoughts of those guys?
I think they're doing great. They all have to get better. They all have unbelievable talent. They really, really do. But they mentally they have to get better. Some of them have to get better in the weight room. Like Caleb Coleman, he's going to be a great player. He's going to be. He's not right now because he's 180 pounds and he's just not strong enough to do all the things that are asked of him. Can he help us? You're daggone right, he can help us. But is he going to be a guy that can go out there and play 50, 60 snaps? That's not what we need him to do right now. He needs to develop into that person and keep working in the weight room so that he can be that person. But all three of those guys are in that backup role right now. I'm really excited about it. I mean, Hershey McLaurin moves up. Like when we come in and we go to our sub package, he comes into our rover and he's able to be at lurk safety that moves all around the place. And that's probably what his role is going to be at this point, because at that position I can roam and I can just play ball. You know, I have jobs, but it's more of a see the quarterback and let's play off of that. And that's what's natural to him, because in junior college you can do that. You float and you go make plays. Whereas free safety, when he's back there, now he's got to be truly, this is my job and that's all I have to worry about. So he excites me because he'll be able to add some length, some athleticism, some physicalness, because he's great in the run game in terms of tackling. And even when he's beat, he's so I make fun of him. He's gonna get mad at me. I say, you got them pterodactyl arms, man. He could get beat, and daggone, he's got a 10-foot wingspan, it looks like, and he just puts him up, and the ball ends up on the ground. So he's exciting. All those Naeem's had a great spring so far. Caleb's had a really good spring. Hershey's had a really good spring, and we'll continue to develop that depth and bring some guys in. It's a fun group.
Do you need more just to have the depth you want? Do you have to add portal guys or whatever?
In my group, I don't know if need is the right word. Would I take it? Yes. Am I going out searching for it? No. If I can find an older guy to put a veteran in that group, maybe. Maybe we'll add one outside. I mean, we'll see about that. But it's not a need. It's not after 14 practice 1. It was a need. Practice 14, I don't know if it's a need right now. We'll see.
Stokes is yours eventually
He
when
is.
he's healthy?
He is, and I have not mentioned him because he hasn't done anything. You know, he's coming off the ACL back in October, which is crazy because he played the last 4 games with a torn ACL and still played unbelievably well, led him to the playoffs. But I'm excited about him as well. That's a young man that I recruited for the last 3 years, and I've seen him work out in person 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So I know what he is athletically. Now, he's got to get back healthy and do some things, but I'm excited about him because he gives us some flexibility of being able to play spear, catch safety, free safety. Heck, maybe even turn into a daggone will linebacker one day. Who knows? And by no means do I want that to happen. I'm just saying you don't know what his body's going to do because he is a well put together young man. But I'm excited about him because he can do a lot of things. He's a big-time athlete. He likes to be physical, and he loves football. He loves football. It's killing him that he can't be a part of it right now. It drives him insane. I have to pump his brakes in meetings and all those things. Hey, I know you want to answer that, but I got to see if these guys that are actually on the field right now know what they're doing. So he's going to be a good one for us, and we'll see what he turns into.
This is your last practice, basically. You got the spring game, but this is it. The next time you get them in the fall in the same setting, where do they have to be?
That's a good question. I think by the time that the fall hits, that jump that we made from practice 1 to practice 14 needs to have that same exact jump by the time that fall comes. Now, can you get all of that? Maybe not, because you're not doing all the 11 on 11 and stuff like that, but they'll still have opportunities to do 7 on 7, work drill work, and we'll get to work with them during the summer. So I do expect that same exact jump from practice 1 to 14 now going to the fall camp. And if we can do that, I like our chances. I really do.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you all.